Right, well here we are, back, yet again. I was here 2 weeks ago, give it a go, but it was blowing an absolute gale. And it's not much better now, as you can probably tell by the wind noise. I'm going to have to use this microphone here, simply because those others, they're just all you get is wind noise. And if this isn't good enough, I'll just have to do a voiceover when I get back home. Anyway, we're here again. We were here 2 weeks ago. Not only was it blowing a gale, which made life very difficult for fishing, and today it's supposed to be calmer, but all that this has proved is that this is a very exposed site and it's always windy. So unless it's going to be a really cold frosty night in winter or a flat calm belting hot day in summer, which it's supposed to be today, hey ho, whatever. Right, last week, or 2 weeks ago, I missed 2 stonking bites on the light gear in the gully when there was only about 2 foot of water in there. About a metre at max, absolute maximum of a metre of water. Great wrenching bite. I was fannying about back here somewhere, 15 feet, whatever. And missed them. Missed the first one, rebaited, nothing happened, brought that in, anyway, missed two before the water was even 6 foot deep. Now I'm just looking in there now and I can see that it's about 1.5 feet. It's already pushing back up because the tide's in a bit. Anyway, so I've come back this week to try and get some sound and also to find out what that was, because I got a couple of silver eels, little green eels or whatever you call them. But I missed those 2 good bites early on. I also missed a bite that was out in the gully on the bigger gear. Now, just to run back through what I'm fishing with. Right, this one that's dangling in front of me. This is the heavier gear. It's a 135 gram lead, breakaway lead with a 2-hook pulley pennel rig. There are 2 O's on there, and that's for the whole squid, which is defrosting nicely. And this was £4.50 at Real Fun Fishing down at Port's Head, as usual. And the lighter kit is a simple 1 ounce bomb, with very sharp size 8 hooks. It's just dug in my arm. This, if you look at the other, I've lost the microphone now. If you look at the other videos, you'll see this is like a miniature pulley pennel. Miniature pulley rig, pennel rig. We'll try that again, shall we? This is a miniature pennel rig with a size 8 worm hook and a size 6 worm hook above, with a little bit of silicone tube, which means it can slide anyway. Look at the other video. And that's on fluorocarbon. And that is going to should have ragworm, because I always fish with squid on the big gear out there in the main channel and ragworm in the gully. Well, I didn't phone ahead to book the ragworm, did I? No. So I've got lug, but I've got lots of it. So it'll be lug on the light gear down in there, and it'll be and it'll be squid, whole squid, but small squid, only little diddy things, on the pennel rig out in the main channel. But because I've got so much lug, and I'll show you some. Use this camera. That's the lug. Can you see that? Yep, hopefully you can see them. There's enough lug there so I can actually put some on the big pennel rig that goes out in the channel when the tide's up a bit more. Anyway, as I said, there's nearly 3 foot of water in the gully right in front of me, so I'm going to bait up the small rod and drop that in there, and I'll wait for it to come up a bit more before I put the heavier gear out in the channel down there. So, I hope this wind drops, but then again there could be lightning later. I'll video that. I'll probably lie flat in the mud because I'm rather exposed here. Anyway, let's get on with it and try not to get hooks in my neck, which that one is determined to dig into my arm. See, health and safety, whatever. Right, let's get fishing. Yes. That's a good bite. Probably an eel then. And I missed it. Bloody marvellous. Still, at least there's something out there. I just took the tail off the worm. Almost certainly a little eel. So we're not too worried about not hooking one of them. But at least there's something out there taking a bait. Weight was completely buried in the mud, so maybe something's been chewing on it, but the pulley hasn't been able to work because the bait's been so deep in this shite. Well, we can think that, can't we? Sounds good. Oh, that's a bite. That is definitely a bite. And that is a fish, but I think it's an eel. Yeah, it's fighting like an eel. Yeah, just hope we hadn't taken that hook down too deep. Not what we were hoping for, but it's something, I suppose. It's actually hooked on the size 6 pennel, not size 8 bottom hook. Keep still. Calm down. Yep. What happened there then? Oh shush, I don't want to get covered in bloody slime. There we are. Which we're going to, because we're going to pick you up and try and get you back in the water. Oh. And away. Well, it would. There we go. Number of small fish that were leaping for their lives when that went in. Oh well. It's something, and it's better than last time. Because it's like, well, that's grubby hands. That's the size 8. See that? Size 8 worm hook, and then we got this little size 6 with a silicone tube on that slides up and down and acts as the top hook of the pennel. well, that was something. It's interesting. You have what looks like an awful lot of eel slime on these size 2s. So maybe my theory about the bite not registering because the lead was buried in the mud was an element of truth to it. Or I'm just clutching at straws here. Anyway. Rebait everything. Get it back out there. See what comes next. Mud, glorious mud. Right. Let's get this back out there. Should do it. Not too far. Don't want to go too far. I just want to get in that channel out there. Should do it. A bit of luck, that wind's starting to drop a bit now. Nothing else, you might be able to hear what the hell I'm saying. Right, I've just come up towards the head of the pool here. Sorry if you can't hear because of the wind blowing, but I don't know if you can see that down there. There's a whole shoal of small bait fish all leaping about on the surface, and they run. The shoal starts about here towards the power station there, and the surface is just it's like a trout farm at feeding time, all the way up here, all the way up, and I can see them right the way up, almost to where it goes around the bend there. Got to be, I don't know, several hundred small fish there. They're slowly moving down at the moment, but they're all on the surface. We hope there may be some bigger ones underneath, but they're not going to be that deep, are they? I mean, that's at least 3-4 meters out there at the moment. So bottom baits aren't going to touch them. Not that we're after anything that size. Probably pick them up with a black gnat or a gold-headed hare's ear nymph or something. I'll have to cast from the other bank. This wind's make presentation an absolute nightmare. But no, it's nice to see there are small fish in here. Maybe at night the bigger ones come in. Might be worth coming down late one night in the summer, midsummer. See how it goes. Anyway, back to the rods. Well, now the wind has almost dropped enough for me to be able to speak. Well, it's been another not so exciting day on the Bristol Channel, Severn Estuary, Littleton on Severn, Whale Wharf, whatever you want to call the location. Yeah, we've had a few little bouncy bites off the eels as usual. I don't think lugworm is the way to go at this time of year. That's June. But then they didn't have any rag at the bait shop, so my fault. Should have phoned ahead and got them to put some aside for me. I think the rag is better in these creeks than on the hard clay. Not sure about the mud out there. That may be obviously when you got the codling and the cod here, then lug's a good bait. It's a bit soft though for this sort of casting. But there we are. Nothing on the squid again. Well, we had one little inquiry, but at least it proves that the rod tip on this new pen Rampage I've got, at least it showed that it shows a bite, even a little rattly one. But no, it's a hard venue, this. I suppose your competition anglers, when they got your 3-hook flapper rigs or 3-hook rigs with 1-ohs and worm baits, with the quality gear, and they're obviously better than me, but I'm just a casual angler at best. And I'm looking at this venue as with a view to visiting anglers more than locals. The locals will probably go a bit further downstream where you're fishing off concrete. It's more comfortable. But I was determined to have a go. I was right, there are mullet in this creek. I'm going to have to bring some float gear for those, I think, because they're only just under the surface. Excuse me. Yeah, they're only a foot or two under the surface. They're not big though. They're only 4 to 6 inch long that I could see. But they're here, and if they're little ones, bloody wind's picking up again. Anyway, I've given it a go as I said I would. Hasn't been terrific. It's a tricky place to fish, I think. If nothing else, it's just constant wind blowing all the time. But we'll see what it's like in the autumn. We'll give it another 2 months or so. It may be a fantastic night venue, who knows? I'm sure it probably is. But anyway, we'll come back and we'll try again. I'm going to carry on fishing now for another half hour or so and see how it goes. It has been bright, it has been hot. But there you are. I said I'd give it a go, and here I am. But if it wasn't for doing this, coming here every 2 months, I don't think I'd bother with this venue. Not unless I find out exactly when it does fish well. Which could be autumn, could be winter. Who knows? I'm not looking forward to the winter though. Oh, that's going to be mucky. Anyway, you'll be alright. You'll just sit there wherever you are, at home, at work, in the car, on a plane, sitting on a beach somewhere, even hotter than this maybe. And you'll be able to watch me freezing my bits off. Anyway, thanks for watching.